At this time, Boy Scout Troop 88 will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag.
Color Guard, post. Salute.
Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Color Guard, recover.
Thank you all very much. You may be seated. We'll delay just a moment while everyone takes a seat so we can get started this evening. Thank you and welcome everyone to the April 2015 Blount County Board of Commissioners meeting. Please give your attention to the emergency announcement.
Before we get started, let me read the emergency evacuation procedures. In the event of an emergency evacuation, an alarm will sound. Everyone should exit the building by way of the nearest stairwell in a safe and effective manner. If the nearest stairwell is blocked by smoke, use the other stairwell. Do not use the elevator. Once you have reached the main floor, follow the exit signs to exit the building and quickly proceed away from the building. Please be mindful of others evacuating and of emergency vehicles.
At this time, the commission will come to order. Please register your presence by voting yes. (21) present, 0 absent. The chair will now stand for motion to set the agenda. Commissioner Hedrick moves. Is there a second? Commissioner Carver seconds. Pending motion is to set the agenda. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to set the agenda. Vote no not to set. (21) yes, 0 no. The agenda is set as published. Next item of business is agenda item B. The chair will stand for a motion to approve the consent calendar. Commissioner Lewis moves. Is there a second? Second. Commissioner Carter seconds. Discussion. Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can we vote on 4A separately? Because there's some commissioners on there that need to abstain.
We shall vote on item B, 4A separately. That will be done.
4A? Okay.
4A, an ad hoc committee to study feasibility of recycling Blount County.
Okay, and are we going to vote on that first, or are we going to vote on all the rest of the stuff first?
We'll move we have a motion on the floor. The pending motion is to approve the consent calendar, and with your request, which will be granted, we'll immediately vote on B4A after that.
Okay, so all right, so I want to discuss 4B then.
You have the floor.
I don't have any problem against the nominee on here. I think she's, from what I have heard, is a good lady and has done a lot of good things for the community. I just want to point out to this body that we have a 12-member planning commission. And on that planning commission, based on the research that I did, we have multiple districts that don't have any representation on the planning commission. And we have several districts that have multiple representatives. District 1 has 2, District 2 has 1. There are 0 in District 3. There are 3 in District 4. There's 1 in District 5. There's 0 in District 6. There's 0 in District 7. There's 3 in District 8. There's 2 in District 9, and there's 0 in District 10. So I think that in the interest of having representation for all citizens of the county, particularly the rural districts that are more so affected because the cities have their own planning and zoning regulations, I think it would be in the interest of the whole county for this body to reject that nomination and a couple of future recommendations so that we can have people from all of the various commission districts, because there have been some people that have not been happy with what has been coming out of the Planning Commission, and I don't think that it's fair that we have some of these rural districts that don't have anyone serving on the Planning Commission. Therefore, I'm going to vote no on this, not because of the nominee, but just simply because my district and other districts are not represented on the Planning Commission. Thank you.
Commissioner, are you requesting that B4B be voted on separately, or you remain on the consent calendar?
Yes.
If your mic was still on.
Sorry. Yes, let's go ahead and vote separately. Thank you.
Or the pending motion is to approve the consent calendar. We have had a request to move B4A and B to be voted on separately. If you vote yes to approve the consent calendar with those 2 items removed, vote no not to approve. Excuse me, we have Commissioner Carter, you're recognized.
I would
Let's
like to
hold
make
the
a
vote.
comment on that. I truly believe that we are all county commissioners, so I truly don't believe that if we care about the county, it doesn't matter what district you're from. And that's the only statement I'd like to make.
Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to approve the consent calendar. With those 2 items removed, vote no not to approve. We have 20 yes, 1 no. The consent calendar is approved. Now, the chair will stand for motion to approve agenda item B4A, which is the ad hoc committee appointments. So moved. Commissioner Samples moves. Is there a second? Commissioner Carver seconds. Discussion? Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to approve the appointments. Vote no not to approve. $17 yes, 1 no, 3 abstain. The appointments are approved. The next item is agenda item B4B. The mayor's to confirm the mayor's appointment to the Planning Commission. Chair will stand for a motion. Commissioner Melton moves. Is there a second? Commissioner Lewis seconds. Discussion. The pending motion is to confirm the appointment of the mayor's appointment to the Planning Commission. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to confirm the appointment. Vote no not to confirm. Commissioner Carter? 15 yes, 5 no, 1 abstain. The appointment is confirmed. The next item on the agenda is item C, public input on items on the agenda. Anyone that would like to speak to an item on the agenda, please raise your hand. We'll start the front row. Would you like to speak, sir? If you'll come forward, introduce yourself, the item on the agenda in which you'll like to give comment.
Dick Scott, 3860 Atlee Drive in Louisville. I'm going to be called out of order by the chair and appropriately so. I just wanted to say welcome back, Roy. We've missed you. It's good to see you again, and Godspeed.
That's in order. If you'll come forward, lady on the first row.
I'm Jessica Stiff Blitz. I live at 2634 Daventry Drive in Maryville. I'm in District 3. I'm here today as a representative of the Blount County Substance Abuse Prevention Action Team. We are a volunteer team, and our mission is to prevent and reduce substance abuse in Blount County with an emphasis on our youth. This evening, I would like to express our appreciation and our support from the funding from the Tennessee Governor's Highway Safety Office and to law enforcement for performing saturation patrols and sobriety checkpoints in Blount County. Every other year, our coalition conducts the Tennessee Partnership for Success survey in our schools to gather data on substance use and risky behaviors that students are participating in. Through these surveys, we have learned that many of our kids are experimenting with drugs and alcohol. And in 2013, 11.3% of our students said they had even participated in binge drinking during the last 30 days. That's 5 or more drinks per sitting. 1 in 5 of our students, 10th and 12th grade, reported that they had ridden with an impaired driver during the last 30 days. 27.2% of our students in Maryville, Alcoa, and in Blount County said that they felt it was unlikely that they would be caught by police if they drove while impaired. It is important that we continue to work to prevent and reduce these behaviors and change these perceptions. And sobriety checkpoints have given our coalition a huge opportunity to raise awareness, to hand out educational materials to drivers as they pass through these checkpoints, and to really have a deterrent out there in our community. So when people think about drinking and driving or driving under the influence of drugs, and they hear about these sobriety checkpoints that are going on, they may think again. So I would just like to show my support for this. I think this is an excellent thing for our community. Thank you.
Anyone else? If you'll come forward, sir, introduce yourself and the item on the agenda which you'll be addressing.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Ryan Desmond. I live at 828 McKenzie Drive in District 3. I will also be addressing item F2A, the alcohol saturation patrols and roadside sobriety checkpoints. I am the chair of the Blount County Substance Abuse Prevention Action Team, and I'm also very fortunate to be employed by the Blount County District Attorney General's office. And for the last 5 years, I've been prosecuting the impaired driving cases in Blount County. I think everyone in this room is familiar with the addiction epidemic that is infecting not only our county and our state, but the entire country. And whatever your opinion might be on the war on drugs or how best to deal with this issue, it's my hope and belief that everyone in this room believes that when someone abuses substances and gets behind the wheel of a motor vehicle, that's a problem. That's a very dangerous problem. I believe speaking at some point tonight will be a member of the Key family who lost their mother last year to an impaired driver. And unfortunately, they are not alone. I've unfortunately...
Excuse me, Mr.
Yes.
Desmond, stop the clock, please. If everyone would please take a seat so we can continue. Mr. Desmond, I apologize.
No,
Thank you.
Thank you. Unfortunately, the Key family is not alone. I've become familiar with many families in Blount County whose families have been torn apart because they've lost loved ones due to impaired driving. I've met countless more who have been severely injured or disabled due to impaired driving. Is there a perfect solution to this? No. However, Blount County is doing a fantastic job of addressing this issue, and Blount County's law enforcement officers have noticed, and they are doing a fantastic job of addressing this issue. The funding received through the Governor's Highway Safety Office for our local law enforcement allows them to pay particular attention to this impaired driving issue. The use of sobriety checkpoints and saturation patrols is a key deterrent in Blount County. And I'm going to throw out some quick stats to show you just how effective it's been. In 2012, local law enforcement arrested 392 DUIs in Blount County. In 2013, that number dropped to 341, and in 2014, it went to 322. That's an 18% reduction in impaired driving arrests. That's a huge number. The funding through the Governor's Highway Safety Office allows us to do particular trainings with impaired driving, and this has led to increased conviction rates. In 2010, our conviction rates in impaired driving cases was 76.9%. Last year in 2014, that number was 88.9%. These are real results. These are saving lives here in Blount County, Tennessee. I know there may be some concerns as to the constitutionality of this funding and the constitutionality as to roadblocks. I'm a very fiscal conservative person. The federal government spends a lot of money on a whole lot of silly things. This is not one of those things. This is meeting the public welfare of our community.
Thank you, Mr. Desmond. Time's expired. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sharon Key. I am in District 8. I'm here to talk about item F2A, and I'm at 7917 Carnes Road. And this is a picture of my beautiful mom, Dean Dillard Key. One of the things I'd like you to know about my mom is that she spent a lot of her time and her talents in many community organizations. Mom spoke regularly at schools because she felt education was the key to help individuals and strengthen entire communities. That's one of the reasons that me and my family are here today, is to help bring awareness to the problems with drivers driving under the influence. And we hope that someday that no one will be having to stand in our shoes feeling the way that we feel and feeling the loss that we feel of our mom. On July 13th, 2013, Mom was just on her way to go buy mulch at a store to take back and put in her gardens because she had a wonderful garden club meeting coming over. On her way there, she was struck by an impaired driver who crossed 2 lanes of traffic and came head-on into her. By the time my mom's vehicle stopped, our world had stopped the way we knew it. Pardon me. We didn't have time for goodbyes. All we had left was silence, where there was a lot of love and a lot of caring. My sister Jennifer and I were desperately trying to find our mom because Jen had received a tweet that Highway 321 had been closed due to an accident. And on that tweet, there was a picture of a red truck. That red truck looked just like our mom's. I got a phone call from my sister a little while later. I hope that you never get the kind of phone call that I got, because it is etched in my memory forever. My sister couldn't talk. My sister didn't need to talk. I knew what she was saying. Our mom was gone. You see, having a loved one ripped from your life doesn't happen to you. It happens to somebody else on the news. Here's a wake-up call. It does happen to you. And it happens just that fast, and you don't know what's happened to you. Your world becomes a spin. In July of 2014, we had the ability to honor our mom with a memorial roadblock. It was held near Heritage High School, and it lasted only 2 hours. Her roadblock was the second most successful in the state of Tennessee. 8 people were arrested with DUIs. One of those had 5 DUI arrests.
Thank you, Ms. Key, and we're sorry for your loss. Anyone else? Sir, if you'll come forward, give your name.
I live at 504 Calderwood Highway, District 7. Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, as I said last month, I'm going to speak on item E. People that have personal property that have a stream going through it will take care of that property and take care of that stream. We don't, because it's a valuable asset to them. And we don't need government regulations and things to tell us what to do. People will take care of that property. If we're going to have border zones and controls on our stream, let it be on public property. Don't let it be on private property. Or the private owners will take care of their water source. And so I'd like to see this resolution done away with. At least exempt farmers and personal property owners from it. Thank you.
Anyone else? I saw a hand on this side. If you'll come forward, I believe Mr. Duck. If you'll come forward, please.
Thank you for letting me talk, gentlemen. I've been very busy today, so I don't have anything prepared, but I am from the 3rd District. I'm primarily going to, I believe, switch gears and comment on F2 with maybe one brief comment on E and F5. So for E and F5, I want to ask the question, how many of our commissioners, this is rhetorical, have placed phone calls to a federal office, to a state office, to a local office, have actually read the entire bill, which I finally have, or have looked at a court case. I've actually pulled up some Supreme Court cases on this matter. And I also want to point out that 6 of Tennessee's 7 Republicans actually are co-sponsors of the bill that we're asking you to consider the support for HR, I think it's 594. If I got the number wrong, forgive me. Now I'm going to switch gears over to F2. I want to say, and somebody might consider this odd, I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. I've never had a single drink of alcohol in my entire life. I'm 40 years old. I've never done any controlled substance unless you want to count traveling 30 miles to buy milk that wasn't cooked. Yes, that was a controlled substance in this state for a while. Thankfully, Frank Nicely did something about that. But this is not about that. At checkpoints, you're not pulling over suspects. You're not pulling over somebody that's weaving. You're stopping somebody that's not a suspect at all. At minimum, that flies in the concept of the face of the 4th Amendment, which says that there's not supposed to be any searches or seizures without a warrant, really, and that the warrant shouldn't even be issued without probable cause. I mean, we're not even getting to the point of issuing a warrant or probable cause. I sent some videos out. One was from a checkpoint over in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and another one was from Channel 5, a Fox affiliate investigation down in Atlanta. And they were strapping people to gurneys, citizens who were not even accused of a crime yet, but all they had done was they had refused a field sobriety test. And if you watch the video long enough, one of them was ultimately proven to be innocent. And these citizens were strapped down to a gurney, needles stuck in them, and they're sitting here screaming at the top of their lungs, "Is this America?" What do you think no refusal checkpoint means? Y'all have a good day.
Good evening. I'm Forrest Erickson, a resident of District 6. I hadn't planned on speaking tonight, but after hearing some of what went before me, I think you'll understand why I want to speak. On June 6, 2013, a veteran of World War II, Ken Bolin, flew something like 50 missions in the Pacific Theater in B-24s. My neighbor and my friend was killed by an impaired driver on Highway 411. Just a few miles away from where we live. The woman who killed Ken Bolin had apparently, some kind of previous driving infractions, as stated in the newspaper articles. And it does seem like, there's a kind of a problem where someone who's already been caught is not being sufficiently held accountable or deterred. And Ken Bolin's death, if I remember correctly, happened just a month or so before the death of the woman mentioned previously by other persons in this court. I'm sort of shocked that this life event for me is reflected in life events for other persons here in this room. Seems far too common. When we operate a dangerous machine, we should be prepared to demonstrate that we're competent to do so. And I would like to make sure that the roads in Tennessee are safe for me and the others who travel them. Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else? If you'll come forward, sir.
Keith Miller, District 4. I would like to draw your attention to 3 items on the agenda that deal with the violation of the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution. That amendment reads as follows: the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. The spirit of this amendment in plain language is, keep your hands off my stuff. So let us begin talking about keeping government's hands off our stuff with relation to E1, water buffers, E1, water buffers. In the late President Eisenhower's 1961 farewell address, he warned that, quote, public policy could itself become the captive of a scientific technological elite, unquote. It is a national disgrace that the scientific elite now made public policy captive, as Eisenhower warned against. Those who favor wacko ideas like taxing rain have gained much traction in government that they have so much traction in government that they have put a mechanism in place that bullies property owners about water management on their own land. How dare government try to force property owners to, among other things, plant vegetation in a particular spot? I urge the Commission to vote no on the water buffer resolution, and concerning the consequences, take the advice of Clint Eastwood in the movie Heartbreak Ridge. We learn, we adapt, we modify, we improvise, we overcome. Another matter related to water buffers is F5. F5. I recommend that you vote yes on F5, since it basically asks our Tennessee delegation to the United States Congress to work to make all this water overregulation go away. Finally, regarding the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution is F2A. F2A. This involves the blatantly unconstitutional act of the sheriff stopping my car without probable cause. Yes, I know 9 lawyers in robes of the Supreme Court has upheld this practice. But bear in mind that the Supreme Court also ruled 7-2 in Dred Scott that black folks weren't American citizens. If the sheriff wants to bully citizens in order to write tickets, the commission should not provide him with the money to do so. Now, since everything under F2 is about grant applications, the feds will happily, let me say this, the feds will happily provide you with all the crack you need to become a hardcore addict. And concerning the idea that someone else is going to use that money or crack, if there was a mountain of crack, and thousands were getting a share, would you really want some? Thank you for your kind attention.
Anyone else?
Harry Groth, John, District 9. F2, as well as other parts of the agenda mentioned this evening. My heart goes out to the Key family and all of those who have suffered loss. I think the common vein here in their remarks tonight is that there were people involved in these stops that have been identified with multiple records of previous activity of drunk driving, and that the problem exists because of the failure of the court system to hold people accountable, not to further, perpetuate injustice by violating the Fourth Amendment rights of people who do not present any probable cause is a further injustice to our Constitution and its founders and our rights. I applaud the state legislature today. The Tennessee Senate voted to uphold the right of the unborn, the least represented, just like those who are killed in accidents are not represented here but by family members. Well, the unborn was defended in the state Senate yesterday to be able to protect their rights, to have their mother be required to recognize that the length of life they have enjoyed since conception was passed yesterday, as well as the requirement for those killing centers to be classified as ambulatory surgical centers and have the same health inspection requirements that your hospital requires or that you hope you get when you have surgery in a center that's outside of the hospital. So I applaud my concerned citizens about their lost loved ones. I applaud my fellow concerned citizens with regards to our lost constitutional rights. And I applaud you tonight for standing up and upholding those rights by voting for the the resolution that will protect our property rights from further confiscation by the federal government and these Environmental Protection Agency confiscation of what God has given us. It has no right to do that. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone else? Person in the back, if they'll come forward, please.
I'm Jan Lowe in District 2. We'll talk about the F2A. I've had a brother that was killed in an automobile accident due to alcohol. But I don't think that we should mess with our Constitution. I don't think that we should be having stops like this, but I think that we should, like what the guy that just talked to just before me, where he mentioned that they shouldn't be on the road. Once they are once they are stopped one time drinking, they should take the license away from them, or they should impair them. I mean, it shouldn't let them go on over and over again. And we have such, I mean, we have good laws on everything, and we've got very good policemen. This county has got very good policemen. But this is something that it's not against anyone. It's just that we should just do just obey the laws that we've got and uphold the law and not try to change it. Just leave it the way it is, but just take care of it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing no hands, there's no business under item D. The next item of business will be item E1. The chair will stand for a motion on item E1, Resolution 1503-004, establishing a water quality buffer and related regulation of streams, rivers, ponds, and lakes in Blount County. Commissioner Caskey moves. Is there a second? Commissioner Carter seconds. The motion is to adopt Resolution 1503-004. Commissioner Cole, you're recognized.
I need to wait till the discussion period, I believe. I want to make a motion.
Motion is on the floor.
Oh, okay.
So
I'd like it to make a proposal for amendments to the resolution.
you're making a motion to amend. You'll state your amendment, sir.
If people would like to follow along, it's page 55 in the information or the packet. First one is page 5 under section 2, applicability. In the third and fourth lines at the top of the page, strike out the word unincorporated and insert the words outside of the city town limits. Second one is page 6 under
You're making a motion for one motion or four motions?
4.
Okay, so I've got a motion. The first one is what you just read. Is there a second?
A second.
Commissioner Daly seconds. Discussion on Amendment 1. If the members would also like to refer, there's a red line copy that's enclosed in your packets immediately behind the list of the 4 amendments. And it saves you the time of finding out where to strike and where to insert. So if you'd like to refer to that, it'll take a second. So the pending motion, moved by Commissioner Cole, second by Commissioner Daly, is item 1, page 5. Strike out the word unincorporated, insert the word outside city/town limits. Commissioner Daly, you seek the floor.
Oh, no.
Okay, thank you. Discussion. Are the members ready for the question? Commissioner Caskey, you're recognized for discussion on the amendment.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, changing that one word makes that read really funny. If you read it with that word in there, it makes it read. It's kind of unambiguous there. I'm just wondering why the change.
So would you like Commissioner Cole to explain that? Is that your
Yes,
comment, or you would request that the members vote against the amendment? You still have the floor, Commissioner Caskey.
No, but if the chair would allow, I would just like the maker of the motion to answer that question. Why?
Commissioner Cole, you're recognized.
The reason I thought it was important to change this is there seemed to be a lot of confusion about what the unincorporated area was in the urbanized area. And if you look up the definition of unincorporated, it is also somewhat vague. So that is the reason I want to make this change.
Are the members ready for the question? See no lights. The pending motion is to approve Amendment 1, strike out the word unincorporated, insert the word outside city/town limits. Vote yes to amend. Vote no, not to amend. We have 14 yes, 7 no. The amendment is approved. The pending motion now is to adopt Resolution 1503-004 as amended. Commissioner Cole, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to make another motion for another amendment.
State your amendment.
Page 6, under Section 4, Standards for Buffer Vegetation. I would like to substitute that entire Section 4A with the vegetative targets for a stream, river, spring, or wetland buffer shall include native trees, shrubs, herbaceous vegetation. Vegetated, preferably native water quality buffers protect water bodies by providing structural integrity and canopy cover as well as stormwater infiltration.
Is there a second? Commissioner Monroe seconds. Pending motion is to amend the amended resolution under item 2 in your packet, deleting standards for buffer vegetation and substitute with the following as just stated. Commissioner Crowe, you're recognized.
Yes, I'd like to ask Mr. Cole, if he will, to go ahead and tell us his thinking as he presents these others so it will help us to decide.
That's not in order. We must have motion second, then stated by the chair, and then discussion. But I will recognize Commissioner Cole for explanation. Commissioner Cole, you're recognized.
Thank you. The reasoning on this was this terminology that I'm inserting or proposing is actually out of the MS4 permit language, I guess. So I felt it was more adequate to have the exact language out of the permit requirements.
Commissioner Daly, you're recognized.
No.
Well, you had your light lit. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to approve the amendment stated in your packet, labeled 2 for page 6. Vote no, not to amend. Please vote. $19 yes, 2 no. That amendment is approved. The pending motion now is to adopt Resolution 1503-004 as amended. Commissioner Cole, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have an additional motion. I'd like to make additional motion.
To amend, state your amendment.
Page 7, under Section 5, Activities within the Water Quality Buffer. In Section 5A5, strike out the words "if used primarily" and insert the words "and not used."
Is there a second? Second. Commissioner Carter seconds. The pending motion is to amend Resolution 1503-004 by adding amendment label 3 in your packet. Discussion. Commissioner Carver, you're recognized.
I would like to ask Commissioner Cole to explain that, please.
Commissioner Cole, you're recognized.
Yes, during our committee meetings, we wanted the language to be such that to meet what I'm changing it to, and that's if you have a structure that's under 200 square feet that's used primarily for recreational purposes, that would be allowed. And I felt the way the language was in there originally, it wasn't saying that. So,
Commissioner Carver, does that answer your question? Yes. Commissioner Stinnett, you're recognized.
Yes. Commissioner, why did your committee come with this? Why did the committee not make some of these 4 changes?
Is that a question for Mr. Cole?
Yes, Commissioner, I'm sorry.
Commissioner Cole, you're recognized.
the ad hoc committee, I guess mostly being unexperienced, we basically closed the ad hoc committee. So when it was recognized that there were a few things that we needed to change, this was the only way to do that. Also, I can tell you there's been a lot of investigation and discussion with TDEC and other officials since that timing, and this is to try to minimize the impact to citizens, but also meet the permit standard.
Is that satisfactory, Commissioner Stinnett?
I'd like for you to ask him if he's discussed this with Mr. Teague and what his feelings are on this.
Commissioner Cole, you're recognized.
Yes, I have sat with Mr. Teague, and we went through these items, so he had no objection.
Commissioner French, you're recognized, sir, to speak on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I read that as amended, the way I read that, it means that if you use it for recreational services and it's greater than 200 feet, then it's allowed. That's the way I read that sentence.
Commissioner Cole, you're recognized to answer.
If it's
And
used for
not used for recreational services, if it's greater than 200 square feet, not used for recreational services, tells me that it can be used for recreational services if it's greater than 200 feet. It's in simple English. The way I read that, that's what that means.
Commissioner Cole.
Can I?
If it's not.
Well, the intent of that is if it's under 200 square feet and used primarily for recreation is the intent of what it should be interpreted.
Commissioner French, I'll recognize you. You're recognized, Commissioner French.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I understand what your intent is, but that doesn't state your intent. What it states is that if it's under 200 square feet, it can't be used for anything. It can't, if it's over 200 square feet, I'm sorry. The way I read that, if it's over 200 square feet, it can't be used for anything except recreational purposes. That's the way I read that sentence.
That's correct.
Commissioner
the way you
Cole,
just said
you're
that is
recognized.
correct.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Make your statement.
Your final recognition is correct, the way you stated that.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman. Anything greater than 200 square feet, it can be used for recreational service.
Go ahead.
Let me read it.
Not.
Buildings, accessories, structures, and all types of impervious surfaces greater than 200 square feet and used for recreational purposes. Oh, yeah.
Commissioner Cole, I believe that you'd be probably better off withdrawing your amendment. I believe you've got the intent is not what you have expressed to the body.
I'll withdraw this one.
We have a motion to withdraw. Is there a second? Without objection, Commissioner Cole would like to withdraw his amendment labeled number 3. Hearing no objection, so ordered. The pending motion is to adopt Resolution 1503-004 as amended by Part 1 and 2. Commissioner Cole, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've got one last. I would like to make a motion for one more amendment.
State your amendment.
Page 9, under Section 6, Protection of Water Quality Buffer. In the 4th paragraph, under Section 6, beginning at the 4th line, strike out the last sentence, which begins with the words, if the property owner, and strike out all of Section 6A and 6B.
We have a motion. Is there a second? Commissioner Monroe seconds. The pending motion is to amend Resolution 1503-004 as to the language labeled 4, page 9. Discussion. Commissioner Caskey, you're recognized.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. In the current permit, it states that all stormwater BMPs must be maintained in perpetuity. And it says the MS4, which is what we are, must ensure the long-term maintenance of the stormwater BMPs through a local ordinance or other enforceable policy. I'm not sure this allows that. This actually takes away the enforcement.
Commissioner Cole, would you like to respond, sir?
Yes. Talking with Mr. Teague, it clearly states that the property owner is responsible, and after this proposed amendment, it still clearly states the property owner is responsible.
Thank you, Mr. Cole. Commissioner Daly, you're recognized.
I happen to have talked to Mr. Teague, too, about this particular section, and he agreed that we could strike out all of what Mr. Cole wants to strike out.
Thank you. Are the members ready for the question? Pending motion is to amend Resolution 1503-004, the item labeled for striking paragraphs under page 9. Vote yes to amend. Vote no not to amend. $14 yes, 7 no. The amendment is approved. Now the pending motion is to adopt Resolution 1503-004 as amended. Discussion. Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On page 43, D2, it says no trees shall be planted in a utility easement. I feel kind of like that's out of place since we're talking about stormwater. And considering that someone could potentially be fined up to $5,000 a day for accidentally planting a tree, I would dare say if you quizzed most of the people in this room, they couldn't tell you where their utility easements are. So to prevent heavy-handed government, I would like to insert the word knowingly between the words shall and be, so that it'll read no tree shall knowingly be planted in a utility easement.
If you would be so kind as to give the chair the page number of the resolution.
It's page 43.
There's 14 pages to the resolution.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. It's page 6 in the resolution. I don't know what I just did.
Page 6, item
D2.
D2. No tree shall knowingly be planted.
Right.
Your amendment is to insert the word knowingly. Is there a second?
A second.
Commissioner Miller seconds. Discussion. The pending motion is to amend the resolution, specifically section 4D2, by inserting the word knowingly between shall and be. Commissioner French, do you wish to seek the floor, sir?
I'm just curious what happens if you unknowingly plant one in there. I'm just curious.
He could tell you
how do you unknowingly?
Be in order.
I don't know.
Motion's on the floor, duly made and seconded. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to amend. Vote no not to amend. $11 yes, 9 no, 1 abstain. The amendment is approved. The pending motion is to adopt Resolution 1503-004. Commissioner Allen, you're recognized.
Yes, I'd like to go back.
Just a moment. Now.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to go back to Mr. Cole's 5A5, and I would like to put that red line back in.
We have a motion to amend Resolution 1503-004. The motion was withdrawn, So it's technically correct that that motion can be entered again by another member. Will you state the amendment, sir?
Buildings and, I'm going to start reading that 5A. 5. Buildings, accessory structures, and all types of impervious surfaces greater than 200 square feet, and would like to strike if used primarily and insert and not used for recreational purposes.
Amendments made. The motion to amend is made by Commissioner Allen. Is there a second? Commissioner Caskey seconds. Discussion. Commissioner Caskey, you're recognized.
Mr. Chairman, when we discussed this issue in the committee, what came up was what would happen if someone put a gazebo or something like that down by the river or whatever it was. And we discussed for quite a while the size. So we decided that 200 square feet, anything under 200 square feet, if used for recreational purposes, would be okay. Anything over 200 feet would be prohibited. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Are the members ready for the question? Commissioner Farmer, you're recognized, sir.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, thank you. If you would direct this to the maker of the amendment.
Commissioner Allen, state your question.
It says greater than 200 square feet and not. So it would be permissible for me to put an 8,000 square feet within it if it's used for primarily or if it's used for recreational purposes?
Commissioner Allen, you're recognized.
That would be correct, and only if it was used for recreational purposes.
Pending motion is to amend Resolution 1503-004. Motion made by Allen, seconded by Caskey, which is item 3. Vote yes to amend. Vote no not to amend. Twelve yes, 7 no, 2 abstain. The amendment carries. The pending motion is to adopt Resolution 1503-004 as amended. Are the members ready for the question? Commissioner Akert, you're recognized.
Chairman, I'm somewhat confused as to why we need to do any of this if we're doing so to comply with laws that already exist. If the laws already exist, there could be no reason for us to need to back them up by making them stronger in Blount County and infringing on our property owners' rights, taking away their ability to use their land as they see fit. If the laws already exist, and if the laws don't already exist, we're rather foolish for taking it upon ourselves to put them into place. I see some documents in our packet that are 7 years old where we're given some examples of a fine that was issued 7 years ago. And that fine was $10,000 for Blount County, I believe, according to my memory anyway. And yes, $10,000 fine for failure to act. I don't understand how we could allow in a county of this size with the budget that we have for a $10,000 fine for us to take away property owner rights to prevent paying some other government entity that already has these rules that doesn't like that we don't comply with them. I don't understand that. So I will be voting no. Thank you.
Commissioner Daly, you're recognized.
I'd like to address what was just said. I agree, totally agree with Commissioner Akerd. What we found ourselves in is a deadline. This has to be passed by May 21st, I believe is the date. The problem is, if we don't do this, the state can come in and set their own rules, and they will be more stringent. What we need to do is go ahead and pass this today, and we have 5 years until this comes up again, and organize and fight this. I have talked to state legislatures about this, elected officials, and they were going to send some things from TDOT, but I never got them. Also, we have a resolution on at the end of the meeting tonight that asks for help from our national representatives and senators. I'm afraid if we don't pass it tonight, we will get in trouble again, or maybe not, we don't know. But I think this is something that every county needs to think about and organize, and have several counties say no to this, because it is unconstitutional and it is infringing on our individual property rights. And that's just my opinion.
Commissioner Aker, do you wish to speak for the second time?
I do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To address what we were just told, I don't like deadlines being issued to us to comply with laws that already exist. If they already exist, again, I can't see why we need to support them. And if we say yes as a body to this or any other removal of rights to our citizens, what possible motivation do our representatives higher up the ladder have to do to say no to other people if we've said yes underneath them? I can't imagine how when they look back at their different county governments that have already set this sort of thing in place, they would vote any differently because of our resolution that comes up later. I applaud the resolution that comes up later. It's why I co-sponsored it, because I think that we do need to tell them to quit taking away the public's rights, property rights. But I think we send a horrible message if we say yes here, because they said that there was a deadline. Thank you.
Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have some questions, and based on those questions, I might want to try to do something else. D3 and 4, which is 43 in the packet and page 6 of the resolution, do we have to have those statements in there? Are we so tyrannical that we have to tell people that you can't have more than 1/3 of a certain type of tree on your land? Or that if, 25%, somebody happens to come out and spray your land, you don't have any control over it, and 25% of the trees die, we're going to fine you up to $5,000 a day? Do we have to have those in there? Can anybody answer? And if not, let's take...
Commissioner Monroe, what is set forth is for new development or redevelopment.
Right.
An existing property owner that was not brought under a storm water buffer plan is not affected. It is only development, redevelopment, or someone who purchases land that is under that plan at the time of purchase. Additionally, Title 69 of the Tennessee Code Annotated, Chapter 3, set forth the compliance requirements. It's not federal law. It's Title 69, Chapter 3,
Is this required under that law?
Clean Waters Law. That is what this resolution is bringing about compliance with. So I don't know if I've adequately answered your question or not.
Okay, I move to strike section D3 and D4.
Give me the section.
That is page 6.
Page 6. D3 and 4.
Yes.
We have a motion to amend Resolution 1503-004, Section 4, Item D, 3 and 4 will be deleted. Is there a second? Commissioner Monroe moves. Commissioner Akert seconds. Discussion on the amendment. Commissioner Akert, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You just told us that this was for only new things.
Redevelopment or new development, redevelopment.
Right.
We have subdivision is where you disturb 1 acre or more of land. You have the floor, sir.
I understand. So if we're redeveloping a business by adding on to the building or modifying our parking lot or any number of things that are not a new business or not a new establishment, but it is modification to the existing one, we're having to comply with these rules even though we're not a new entity. Is that correct?
If you're disturbing 1 acre or more, is my understanding. I didn't serve. I'll let Commissioner Daly, she's the ad hoc committee chairman, answer that one. So, Commissioner Daly, you're recognized.
Thank you. Yes, that's right. If you disturb more than 1 acre of land, then you are subject to these rules. And that's the only time that you are subject to these rules. But the water buffers, once they're in place, are to be kept up. I wanted to explain something, Commissioner Akert. The reason I believe that these laws or rules are being put to the separate counties, and many of them are redundant with TVA rules, is so that the county will be in charge of enforcing them. And I don't like that either, and I don't like any of this, but that kind of explains why they're having us do this, so that the state won't have to enforce it.
Commissioner Hedrick, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're obviously overthinking this situation.
Sir, we have a motion on the floor to amend, striking items 3 and 4 under section 4, item D. If you'd like to speak to that, the chair will recognize you.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Commissioner Carver, you're recognized.
This isn't in reference to that, but the main thing that we're looking at is the water that we drink, that we have.
If you'll speak to the amendment 3 and 4, removing 3 and 4. You still have the floor. Commissioner Allen, you're recognized.
This question is directed, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This question is directed to the ad hoc committee chairwoman. If we strike these 2 sentences, are we still in compliance with the Tennessee law?
Commissioner Daly, you're recognized.
Thank you. Yes, I believe we will be. Of course, Justin is here if you want to ask him to make sure.
Mr. Teague, if you're available.
Thank you, Chairman. Obviously, I can't.
The question is, if we delete section 4D, items 3 and 4 will be out of compliance or in compliance?
Obviously, I can't answer for TDEC.
Well, thank you, so have a seat. Are the members ready for the question? The pending motion is to amend Resolution 1503-004, Section 4, Item D, delete items 3 and 4. Vote yes to amend, vote no not to amend. We have 9 yes, 12 no, 0 abstain. The motion to amend fails. Commissioner Farmer, you're recognized.
Call for the question, Mr. Chairman.
That previous question been moved by Commissioner Farmer. Is there a second? Commissioner Carver seconds. Vote yes to move the previous question, which means there will be no more discussion, an immediate vote. Vote no for discussion to continue. Please vote. $15 yes, 6 no. Motion to move previous question carries. The pending motion and the question is to adopt Resolution 1503-004 as amended. Vote yes to adopt the resolution as amended. Vote no not to adopt. $13 yes, 7 no, 1 abstain. The resolution is adopted as amended. Mr. Clerk, I hope you're taking good notes. The next item of business is item F1A. The chair will stand for a motion on F1A, Resolution 1504-008, to amend the central cafeteria fund budget by $20,000. Commissioner Sample moves F1A, F1B, and F1C. Is there a second? And D. I heard Commissioner Lewis seconds. Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to vote on A separately. Thank you.
The pending motion is to move F1A, B, C, and D. That is the motion is duly seconded. Unless you make a motion to divide the question and get a second and carry, it can't be done.
I would like to divide the question, vote on A separately.
Commissioner Monroe moves to divide the question. Is there a second? Second. Commissioner Miller seconds. Discussion on the motion to divide the question. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to divide the question. Vote no not to divide the question. Please vote. Eight yes, 13 no. The motion to divide fails. Pending motion is to adopt the resolution set forth in items F1A, B, C, and D. Discussion. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to adopt the resolutions. Vote no not to adopt the resolutions. $19 yes, 2 no. The resolutions are adopted. The next item of business is F2A. The chair will stand for a motion on item F2A. Commissioner French moves items F2A, through F2D, E, and I heard a second by Commissioner Kaler. The pending motion is to approve the grant applications as set forth in F2A, B, C, D, and E. Commissioner Monroe, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to thank everyone that came out to speak, and for those of you who've suffered losses from drunk driving, I share your pain. I lost a really good friend to a drunk driver. He and I helped co-found a Liberty Alliance organization together, and I miss him terribly. I would love for him to be here tonight, but he wouldn't want his legacy to be that his death be used to violate the rights of individuals who are innocent. And I am completely for going after drunk drivers and getting them off the roads. I am all for that, and I'm all for appropriate punishment, and I would love to see this community have more alcohol treatment programs, more drug rehab programs. I look forward to working with that. That's why I'm on the committee with the Corrections Partnership to study those issues, and I welcome with open arms the opportunity to do what we can as a community to address those concerns. That is not the issue at question here. The first thing we did when we took office was we raised our right hand, and we affirmed that we would uphold our oath to the state and federal constitutions. And part of that includes protecting the rights of individuals. And it is for that reason and that reason alone. There's nothing in the federal Constitution that authorizes roadblocks. I've read the Constitution numerous times. I also read what my good friend Mr. James Madison, President, he couldn't be here today, but he wrote a nice letter when he left office to the House of Representatives about why he vetoed a public works bill, because he said in there that there was no authority in the Constitution for the federal government to build roads and to establish waterways, and he ought to know because he was the primary author of the Constitution. So I don't want to violate the rights of innocent individuals because there are evil people in the world. And America has been founded upon liberty and freedom, and we've got the tools and capabilities necessary. We don't have to violate our oaths of office. We can work for better alcohol and drug rehab programs. Thank you.
Commissioner Carter, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I truly believe the key word here is illegal search and seizure. We're looking at sobriety tests. And common sense tells you if you drink, don't drive. And it's just that simple. You can bottom line it just right there. And if you look at the Constitution, I don't see how that does violate the Constitution as long as the policemen do their job. Because it would violate the Constitution not to do it because we are afforded life and liberty. So if you have someone drunk driving and they kill someone, that's not life or liberty. That's it.
Commissioner Hedrick, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have one of the best and finest sheriff office and drug task force right here in the state of Tennessee. Understand the Constitution. We have statistics showing what they're doing works. Why in the world will we impact what these fine folks are doing? Thank you.
Commissioner Daly, you're recognized. Ma'am, if whoever has their phone will please silence it, I would appreciate it very much. And I know the commission will also. Thank you. Commissioner Daly, I will turn on your light and recognize you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I have a question about what we're discussing here. I do remember, it seems like about a year ago, that there was a grant for this, and it stated that we could no longer, once we took the grant, that this position would always be there, that we couldn't get rid of the sheriff's position there. And it says this is for $92,050. I'd like to know what this grant covers. I mean, that's got to be a lot of different roadblocks, or I'm just not sure what this $92,000 is for. I'd like to know more about that.
Commissioner Daly, if you could please give us the item number on the agenda.
It's F2A.
F2A. I believe we have a representative of the district attorney's office here. Are you familiar with this grant, or would you like to answer? Or if not, I'm sure we have a member of law enforcement here that can answer this question. I have Gerald coming forward. Ms. Daly, if you'd please ask your question again.
Okay, on F2A, the alcohol saturation patrols roadside sobriety checks, it says that the grant is for $92,050. So what exactly does this grant cover?
Basically, Chief Millsaps, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. Basically, this grant covers overtime for officers. It's not a position. It's not an added officer or individual on the street. It basically is overtime that it takes for officers to do their normal duties and then pay them overtime to come out and do such saturation patrols or sobriety checkpoints or other alcohol related activities to enforce.
Commissioner Daly, does that answer your question?
Well, how many, okay, to do this, how many officers and how many hours would this pay for?
Chief Millsaps, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. This is for a year, so this is for a whole year to do different events throughout the year.
Commissioner Daly, do you have any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. The pending motion is to approve the grant applications as set forth in F2A, B, C, D, and E. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to approve the grant applications. Vote no not to approve. $17 yes, 4 no. The grant applications are approved. The next order of business is item F3. The chair will stand for a motion on item F3, setting a public hearing for May 12, 2015, room 430, Blount County Courthouse at 6 p.m. for a resolution to amend the zoning map of Blount County, Tennessee, from R1 Rural District 1 to REC Rural Arterial Commercial for property located at 110 and 112 North Springview Road at the corner of U.S. Highway 411 South and North Springview Road. The property is identified on tax map 089, parcel 109. Commissioner Samples moves. Commissioner Bowers, excuse me, sir. Is there a second? Commissioner French seconds. Pending motion is to set a public hearing. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to set the public hearing. Vote no not to set. $21 yes, 0 no. The public hearing is set. The next item of business is F4. Resolution 1504-006 by Blount County Commission pursuant to TCA 5410-216 to close and vacate section of roadbed and right-of-way of Haynes Road, a county-maintained road in Blount County. Commissioner Bowers moves. Commissioner Allen seconds. Motion is to adopt Resolution 1504-006. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to adopt the resolution. Vote no not to adopt. 21 yes, 0 no. The resolution is adopted. Next item of business is F5. The chair will stand for motion on F5. Resolution 1504007, asking federal legislators to stop the expansion of EPA regulations over water and to repeal stormwater regulations. Commissioner Monroe moves. Commissioner Carter seconds. The motion is to adopt Resolution 1504007. Are the members ready for the question? Pending motion is to adopt Resolution 1504007. Vote yes to adopt the resolution. Vote no not to adopt. Eleven yes, 9 no, 1 abstain. The resolution is adopted. The next item is item G, statements and announcements. Commissioner Crowe, you're recognized. I did.
Okay, thank you. I just would like.
I turned your microphone on. Don't turn it off, please. Thank you.
I just would like to say that I am excited to see so many citizens out tonight. This is supposed to be a government of the people, by the people, for the people, but a lot of times the people don't show up. And local government is awesome because we all do get to come together and govern ourselves. And tonight we heard opinions. I thought the prayer was excellent. Together we can make this a better Blount County. Together. And it's exciting to see so many different opinions and so many different people come out. I thought we was going to have to start having a cakewalk to get people to come out. So it's exciting. Please come back.
Commissioner Daly, you're recognized.
I want to talk about a concern of mine in this county, and that's the dangers of smart meters here in Blount County. Several scientists, doctors, and professors worldwide are concerned with the rate of people developing electrosensitivity to EMF and radio waves. It can take years for symptoms to develop from smart meters. I personally have a good friend who has suffered ever since her smart meter was put in, and other friends who can no longer live in their house. Symptoms are usually weakness, confusion, heart problems, and extremely high blood pressure. Fort Loudon Electric will sometimes remove the meters for a fee and charge you $1 extra per mile, and that is a monthly charge. Alcoa is a different category altogether. Alcoa has signed a contract with TVA, and they refuse to move the smart meters because of that. Many municipalities have gotten rid of their smart meters, our own Rockford being one of them. Everyone needs to be aware of these dangers and search for more information and speak up. Thank you.
Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to echo Senator Crow's sentiment.
Senator?
No, sorry. Sorry, I'm tired. All right. Statement. Sorry. In the sense that it's good to see people out. I've been kind of disheartened after getting elected to see so many empty seats over the last several months, and so it's good to see people out. I also wanted to extend and hand an invitation to those of you that are concerned about drunk driving and alcoholism and drugs to please show up at the County Corrections Partnership meetings. If we can ever have one, it would be great to start discussing solutions to. So thank you.
Commissioner Hedrick, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, we are having one. It will be Tuesday at the end of the month, the 28th at 6 o'clock.
Thank you. Any other statements or announcements? Moving on to item H, public input on items not on the agenda. Seeing no hands, this completes tonight's agenda. Without objection, we are adjourned. Hearing no objection, we are adjourned.